All right, we made it. So, real quick, we got some OGs in the house already. It looks like Walshy's in here. I'm sick, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. I think I got Corona Light. It's not Corona. I've just got a cold. Walsh was doing some work stuff, so he's not with us tonight. And then we're still waiting on old Jason to come back. He'll be here soon, hopefully. But you got the A team here, Cody, Joe. We are thin line defense. We're 50% of it, but the better 50% of it. And we're gonna take you through tonight's chat. It is everybody's favorite day of the week, TLD live chat. So yeah, so Bravo Attack probably like these dudes are late. So me and Joe were chit chatting because I haven't been able to talk to him. So we were talking in the back there, and I was like, "Well, we got 14 seconds before we're supposed to be live, so better get
Yeah,
started."
it's okay. It's okay. Hmm. Walsh is abandoning us.
Yeah,
That's all right. Maybe without Walsh, we'll be able to talk about something different this week.
yeah. So like I tried to mention last week, I was like, "We're not talking about plate carriers. We're not talking about placards. So that's going to be tonight." I just said plate carriers and placards for the second time and already in this live chat. That's it. So we're going to talk
That's
about
it.
some other stuff. Some other
We don't
stuff
know what
tonight.
yet, but I'm sure. I'm sure all of our OG guys want to talk about something different, so they'll come up with
Hopefully.
topics.
I know old Misfit in here is probably like, I got my 19th PC. I'm not gonna say it again. I know y'all are trying to bait me into it.
Yeah. We can start off by talking about our video this week. I think it was my video. I'm sorry for the crummy video. I don't know. It's cold and I don't have a lot of time to go shooting right now, especially to record and shoot. It takes twice as long to record and shoot. The last three times I've been to the range, I haven't had any fun because I've been recording the whole time. Um,
Yeah.
so I didn't record with that holster, but that holster there. I'll tell everybody in here. I wasn't gonna throw it up on the video, but that's for my duty gun. I have my duty holster on my duty belt that you don't want to take that holster off of that belt ever. Once you get your duty belt set up, if you've ever had a battle belt or a duty belt, you never want to take it apart, let alone every day. So that holster just something to carry my duty gun in if I need to carry it in plain clothes or if I want to put it on my hip when I go into work and just leave the duty belt in my bag, just stuff like that. It's very light use. So I'll use it and I'll keep everybody posted on how it holds up. I think the weak point of that whole holster is the connection. I
Yeah.
showed that in the video. I'm not a fan of paddle holster. I think the Forbes Fabs, whatever, however you pronounce that
Ovis.
holster, is that it? That had a really bad issue with it breaking right there. So
Yeah.
I watched a couple video where if somebody trying to get your gun, you do weapon retention by just pushing it down in the holster. And when you put that much weight on it, on those small stress points, if you just turn as a bad guy, if you just rotate the holster like a clock, you'll just snap it right off the belt, and then you have the whole holster and gun. And when you're putting downward pressure, you're not really gripping anything to keep a hold of it. So once it snaps off, you pretty much lose your gun. So I think I'm actually going to try that. I'll carry it for a little bit, and then I'm going to try that. I'm going to put it on somebody else's hip and see if I can break it off. And if I can, then I'm not carrying it. If I can't, then awesome. Then they figured out a way how to make those small stress points actually work.
Yeah. I think the thing with Fob is they were using like a cheap plastic, and the paddle was riveted onto the holster,
Mm-hmm.
so those rivets would pop right out. I don't know what they're using. Hopefully, it's like a bolt or something like that. But
Yeah,
I
those there,
when
but they're so close together that
yeah,
man, I don't know. And that Kydex is really thin.
yeah,
So I'm gonna give it a couple good tugs, and if it don't break, then it don't break. But if it breaks off, then I'm not gonna wear it, even if it's just to and from work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could probably find some like an alternative, maybe if you needed to.
Yeah, I
But
like
I mean,
more. I personally like outside the waistband holster the best. And then I like the belt loops. So, but it is what it is. I still really like my 1441 gear holster.
yeah,
I still really like that holster. I think it's really well built, and he uses good quality materials in it, and I still really like both of my 1441 gear holsters. If you haven't
yeah.
tried
So
one yet,
Bravo's bringing
I
up,
suggest it.
yeah, he's bringing up a good point about the paddle holsters. Does it cause a hot spot?
Well, on mine, I don't think I'm going to because they use a really big paddle, which is actually kind of comfortable. And the longest I'm going to have it on me is an hour at a time
Yeah,
because it's my duty gun. I'm not conceal carrying that duty gun off duty. Uh, I have my Mod 2 and my Hellcat for that. And I have holster. I have my Alien Gear holster that I've worn. The inside the waistband Alien Gear holster that I have. Like I said, I do everything wrong. I have a left-handed holster even though I'm right-handed because I wear it at the 6 o'clock position right in the small of my back. And I do a palm out draw. But I've had that on for 14 hours and it creates hot spots as in you're sweating in that area, but not hot spots as causing you pain. So
yeah,
that's what I conceal carry with on the daily or the two guns, not my duty gun.
yeah. I used to have that. Is the not Springfield Safari Land, the first ALS holster I had for my duty weapon. Remember that? It
Hmm.
had a paddle holster, but it was like shaped to like sit in on my hip like a certain
Yeah,
way, and that one was comfortable. And I remember liking that one so much that I bought the one for the handcuff case too. But yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like worrying about if I'm gonna draw my gun if that's just gonna pop right off of my belt. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't take my gun off that many times, and if I do, I normally wear a holster that are comfortable enough that I can just remove the gun and the holster not gonna create an issue. So
Yeah,
I just don't do it. I do have a paddle holster from Alien Gear themselves, and that thing hurts, man. That thing hurts
yeah,
after an hour. Like I know exactly what you're talking about, Bravo Tac, but this one actually feels more comfortable than any of the other paddle holster that I've worn. And it's the only paddle holster besides that Alien Gear because I just haven't gotten rid of it. It's the only paddle holster that I still own because I don't like them typically.
yeah,
But it was 50
I,
bucks and I needed something that fit that light, an RMR, the Glock 45. Like I needed something for this specific gun. It's something that I'm not going to use a whole bunch, like in length of time. So I wanted to keep it cheap. It was $50. They were willing to work with us. They were willing to give us a discount code that's coming for our viewers. So I said, you know what? If I can save our viewer a little bit of money by doing a quick 5-minute video and testing this thing out, then that's what I'll do. So mainly
yeah.
for you guys, save you guys a little bit more money and get you guys even cheaper holsters.
So I have. Sorry again. I'm getting over my cold. I have several Stealth Gear USA holsters that have the speed clips. Have you seen those? I
I
really
have.
like those, and I've never had an issue with them popping off my belt. So, but again, that's outside the waistband. The
Yeah.
ones I was using. So,
Yeah,
Doctor Gold,
I really like my Alien Gear one. They're cheap. If you ever buy an Alien Gear holster, the minute that you get it out of the packet, take out every single screw that on an Alien Gear holster, put Loctite on the screw, and put them back in. And then also they send you a little packet of screws. I suggest carrying that in the bag that you take with you the most. Like I throw it in my work bag or whatever, just to have it. I've never lost a screw, knock on wood, because I Loctite them right away. But if you don't Loctite those screws, you'll lose screws, and then your holster just dangling. I've worked with people, we were flying armed, and his Alien Gear holster came apart in the middle of the airport.
yeah,
It's like, man, I need to go to the bathroom and figure this thing out. So then he had to carry it in a backpack, like he had no other choice. He didn't have a
I
backup
know.
holster.
Have I told the story my Bravo concealment. No, was it Bravo? Raven concealment.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I had my old school, like my first Kydex holster for my duty weapon. We're walking into the AFRICOM commander's conference room, and there's all these people sitting in there. My boss sits down. I go to sit down in like this stadium style chair, and my holster catches on the arm and just screws just boom, just shoot out everywhere off of it in front of everybody. And everybody's just looking at me like, what is happening?
Yeah, that
That
always
was
sucks.
embarrassing.
You're cutting in and out a little bit, Cody. Just give you a heads up. I
Yeah,
got the
my
gist of
internet
that
sucks.
story. I got the gist of your story. That's never fun,
I've
man.
told you,
Especially
yeah,
when you still have work to do. You know, now you don't know
yeah.
what to do. I started carrying
Well,
a flat, like a leather flat spare holster around with me on
yeah,
trips just for that. But it's always in my backpack in the vehicle. You know, it's with my lickies
yeah.
and chewies, wherever those are.
I always had spare holsters, but then I had lieutenant colonels and uh, colonels looking for my little bits all over the floor. So I got everything back and was able to put it together, but it's embarrassing, especially for my boss. So let's see. They're in here talking about fire control units for SIG P320, and
Yeah, I don't even know. I guess there's somebody brought up T-Rex arms. I don't even know the crap that's going along with them, but
that's
Jason and Walsh were talking about there's some crap going on with them.
yeah. He said there was some drama online or something, or some hate. That's what
Yeah.
they were talking about before the show. I don't follow any of that stuff unless it's hate on us. So if they're hating on other people, that's less negative attention on us, I guess. So,
Yeah. I could care less.
but I do like. Let me try to find that comment.
There's so many holster out there that are hard to. Yeah, there's no way we can try all of them. So,
Bravo
and they get
said,
expensive after a while. Like most people have 2 or 3 holster, and they spent, the
"Yeah,
we'll say the $200, $300 on them. That's fine. But when you're trying to review holsters and you have as many guns as I do, you can go broke quick trying to do holsters. Like it just gets really expensive really quick. I think honestly, I'm one of those people that if I find something that works, I'm going to stick with it. So I think because as you all know, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for a backup battle uh, duo, I guess you can call it. I'm building that rifle once I get the flat face trigger that I want from Tacon. I'm building that rifle, and then I'm still considering a couple different pistols, but it looks like I'm going to go with the what's it called, the Arex.
oh yeah,
I'm probably gonna get that, and if I do, I'm just gonna go through 1441 gear, man. He makes a good quality holster. You know, you got to pay a
yeah,
little bit of extra for it, but it'll have the QLS on it already, and then I can just buy a proper drop leg for my battle belt and go from there.
yeah." I like the double layered system he has for those outside the waistband or the drop leg holsters he has. But I've I've said this from the beginning, like holsters are like purses to me. You know, women, they'll get this certain brand of holsters that they like and they kind of stick to that. That's how I am. I like Stealth Gear USA. They've never let me down. I wear one in my pants every day and I've had it for 10, 12 years. And I compare everything I get to that.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, I think I even told uh 1441, I was like, it's gonna be hard to change my mind from what I already have, but I'll give it a shot. And I
yeah,
did. And it's just not as comfortable as what I have. But
yeah. I think
uh,
the one-off custom holsters, I think they're better suited for outside the waistband and
yeah,
like what I'm using it for battle holsters to go on a drop leg and go on my battle belt. But for inside the waistband, the only thing I don't like about my alien gear is that it doesn't accommodate a flashlight. So I either have to take my flashlight off, or that's why I've been I need to get him to make me an inside the waistband, but I use the 1441 gear outside the waistband for my Hellcat. And I use the alien gear for my XD Mod 2 inside the waistband, but I can't run a flashlight on it. So, and they're not designed for an RMR, but I just took the old cutoff wheel, the Dremel tool, whatever, and I just cut a L-shaped notch in all my holster once I got the slide milled for the Mod 2.
Yeah. Not
So
to
just
change the
modified
subject,
them. Yeah, go
but
ahead.
while I'm thinking about it, this kind of brings up a good point. With Walsh being MIA tonight, we're not going to be able to do that giveaway unless he can do some kind of magic and teleport into the controls here. But I would wreck that whole thing. So postpone it till next week. But just know that if you continue to make comments on that one chat, not the chat, the video that he posted, we're still gonna pick from that. That's just a reminder. You got a whole another week to go make some comments, to go add your name to the giveaway. So just know that we're gonna postpone it for now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Don't be mad at us. We all have our lanes, and Walsh set all that up, and that's his lane right now. So we're not gonna overstep into his lane. What Walsh say?
Yeah. He says something defense mechanism, something discount code, TLD code.
Oh, well, we're not really talking about placards tonight, but since Walsh brought it up, I will say I ordered my stuff. I went on defense mechanism. I had to call Walsh. Don't laugh at me, Cody. I had to call Walsh and be like, what am I supposed to do here? Because it's so confusing. And I told him I was going to buy just the stripped out placard and build all of my stuff off of that, because it sounded like a great idea until I looked at the price. So doing that, starting with a strip placard and buying 3 AR magazine pouches to go on that strip placard went like $85. Where if I just buy the 3 magazine pouch that is the back placard, it was $40. So
Yeah.
mine are ordered. I don't know how long it's going to take. It did say that they're custom made or made to order or whatever. Cody, check the chat. Wilson talking to you. But I did have mine made. I don't know when it's going to come in. And since we're on the subject, so we don't have to keep visiting it, I ordered my S-Tac mag pouches. They came in about a week for my battle belt, and Cody and I both went on to Axle Eclipse, and they said the G-Hook belt was in stock, so we both ordered one. And then I got an email, I think Cody did too, but I got an email saying that it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks. So they must have a different definition of in stock than I do. But hopefully my Axle Eclipse shows up eventually, and I'll be able to put a good quality battle belt together and go from there. I don't know if Cody frozen or
I was
getting the Canic next week. Nice, man. I thought about it, and I even went on Canic's website, and I know I just saw a gun, I think, that isn't like this, but all the Canics that I saw, the optic ready ones, when you take the plate off to put the optic on, the rear sights are integrated into that plate. So when you take it off and you put an optic on, you lose your rear sights, and that's a huge no-no to me for a battle pistol. Because if my red dot ever goes down, I need backup sights. I have to have it. That's why I didn't get the CZ milled. I was going to get the CZ, the slide milled for an optic, but in order to do that, I lose my rear sights. And I know you can buy optics that have the rear sight channel cut into them, and I might end up going that way, but I want to be able to put, night sights on it. I want to be able to have a little bit more flexibility in it. So I think I'm going to go with the AREX Delta Gen 2, and I'm going to go with the full size. I think it's the L, which it's the longer barrel and the longer grip, just because it's a battle gun. I want as much ammo and a longer barrel for accuracy I can get. Yeah, I thought about getting the Canic.
Deborah mentioned the Filster holsters, and I had one of his holsters way back in the day, and he was really one of the first YouTubers I'm breaking up again. Am I
Yeah.
coming through clear?
Yeah, I can hear you at least. Your video choppy, but I can hear you.
Good old living in the sticks. Anyway, he was one of the first uh, YouTubers I saw that was doing the Codex holsters and kind of showing the process on YouTube. I think I'm still followed him. So when I wanted to make holsters and do stuff like that, and he was one of the guys I would always watch. So he makes a good holster.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Deborah. Thanks for watching it. Thanks for being on here. Thanks for being part of the crew. We appreciate it. There, in my opinion, I think there's not enough female in the gun world. So thanks for being on here and being part of this. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
sure. So they were asking about which mechanics she was going to get. So she just said, to be clear, she's a new user and she's just going to do dry firing and get some training. That's great.
Awesome.
That's definitely the right mindset to have. Everybody, regardless of your skill or level of experience with firearms, should get some kind of advanced or basic handgun training, even rifle training. It never hurts to learn more. We're just a bunch of bums talking on YouTube. By no means are we professionals, but I know
No.
between Joe and I, we've had several advanced courses for firearms, and we could probably, just like we were talking the other day with Tim, right? He offers a different perspective than what we learned in the military. So go on to his course, we can always learn new things. So
Yeah, I always
definitely,
take up any class that I can. Obviously, money an issue with some of that, but any class that I
yeah,
can, I always take it. And I walk into every class with I empty my bucket, walk in, fill my bucket up with air knowledge, walk out, empty that into the pile, and then pick what I want out of all the pile. So
yeah,
just keep an open mind. Deborah, if you go on to our channel, when Walsh first kind of started videos and stuff, he did this whole series called Zero to YouTube Hero. And what he did when he wanted to see, with having hardly any experience with a pistol, if he could watch all the different YouTube videos and actually gain experience and do decent with a pistol, and he did. So if you go and look at our playlist, I think it's on a playlist, Zero to YouTube Hero. Walsh did it. Just start watching that, and he put out a video every week. So every week you can watch a new video and do what he was doing. And are you going to be, Doc Holliday after that? No, you're not. But will it help you? Yeah, it will absolutely help you. So
and unfortunately, Walsh isn't here, but he could talk to you more about that Mantis. Uh, yeah, I'm saying that right,
yeah,
Joe?
yeah, I have one upstairs. They sent me
Yeah,
one to use. It's just I want to use mine for live fire because Walsh already did all of the dry fire stuff that we can do on videos. But yeah, the
yeah,
Mantis is a cheaper way with the price of ammo right now to actually, after you get to draw, after you get all the normal stuff down and it's second nature to you, then throw the Mantis on your gun and dry fire in your house. It
yeah.
absolutely works.
That's what I
I
was gonna
will suggest
recommend.
this though. It's not every gun, and it's kind of, everybody has a different opinion on it. It's kind of like, how do you break in an engine on a new car? Everybody has a different opinion. Some people say you drive it, you don't go over 3,000 RPMs, you drive it as soft as possible for the first 500 miles. Other people say you rag the living crap out of it for the first 500 miles. Who's right? Nobody knows. But with firearms, some people say you shouldn't be dry firing your gun. Some people say it'll damage it. Like for 1911, supposedly it'll damage the firing pin. So I would highly suggest, Deborah, if you're going to do a lot of dry firing, get some snap caps. They're cheap on Amazon. Whatever caliber you get, 9 mil, whatever, just get some snap caps and dry fire with those. It's a pain to sit there and reinsert them into your mag every time that you're doing a dry fire, but it'll save your firearm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right, right. And he doesn't even live somewhere where he can buy that. I don't know where he got it, but he lives in the Midwest where he can't buy that.
So Ashley, one of Ashley's coworkers was like, "Oh, my wife's down in Arkansas." They were talking about the Hershey Porter, Yinling's Hershey Porter, And he's like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna get my wife. She's down in Arkansas. I'm gonna have her get some and bring it up this weekend." And so my wife was like, "My husband would really love some Yinling," and so they brought me some.
Oh, that was nice of them.
Yeah,
That was nice of them. Hey, you want to talk about knives real quick?
yeah.
Okay. So for this week, there's somebody going to put a link to this in the comments. I don't know if it's going to be Walsh or Cody, but I don't do
I'll
that.
grab it.
So this week I'm going to talk about this little knife. If you're like me, you hate sharpening knives and you suck at it. If you're like me, because I hate sharpening them and I suck at it. So I've been trying to find knives with more disposable blades. I've had this. This will be an honorable mention. So this is just a little Gerber that I got at Walmart for like $5 or whatever. But you put a razor blade in it, so anytime that it gets dull, I just change out the blade. And I was kind of wanting something a little bit smaller for detailed work when I'm doing stencil, when I'm doing stuff like that, stuff down here, this little fine stuff. And I found this on Amazon. So it's a little folding knife that flips open and it's a actual scalpel blade. So these are super, super cheap blades. You can get them on Amazon. They're very sharp. This came with 5 of the large blades and 10 of the small one. This is a small one in it now. It's locking and it's flip open. It does have a little thing for your belt, but for 20 bucks, this was actually really good quality. It flips open really well, even with the lighter blade on it, the smaller, lighter one. So that's my knife for this week. And there'll be a link down in the description or whatever. I just thought this was cool and it's going to go in my toolbox. So I have something extremely sharp if I need to do any type of small stuff. But I've been sitting here messing with it for the last 10 minutes, so I figured I'd talk about it so then I can keep messing with it. And if you see it, then you're not like, what's that? Yeah, that's it for
I
the
put it
knives.
in there. I don't know if it got stuck in my dial-up internet, but it should be coming soon.
Yeah,
Everybody in here is talking about T-Rex arms.
there's a whole bunch of drama with them, I guess.
Yeah,
I
that's
try
what.
not to get wrapped around the axle with drama. Try not to.
So
So while Cody reading comments, I'll let you in on a secret. You're about to see it. You probably saw Walsh's quick little, I don't even know what you call the little YouTube videos, the little shorts. But he decided to up the ante. And I was trying to be respectful and polite and only do 2 miles when we're testing all of our kits and stuff. I was trying to keep it at a reasonable number. Doing 2 miles, I feel like 2 miles nonstop is a reasonable number. Well, this fool went out and did 4 miles. So last night, I saw that. I work nights, so I'm up all night and sleep during the day. And last night I saw that, and I'm like, man, now I got to strap on my boots, get on my kit, and go do 4 miles. Walsh just did. And I got to say that that gray ghost is capable of it. I went 4 miles nonstop. I think I had to slow down my miles. I think I averaged like a 10:30 pace, but went 4 miles in the kit. But it's getting cold here in Colorado. So at like 2 o'clock in the morning, it was like 33 degrees. It's snowing outside right now. I had to blow up my sprinklers. It's going to be like 24 degrees tonight. So Walsh will end up beating me because I'm not going to go run and kit in 20-degree weather. I'm too old for that. I don't do that anymore.
I'm too retired for that.
So, but yeah, you'll see that little short pop up. Walsh is already up, and then mine will pop up sometime this week. But it's his own fault. So if he comes on next week complaining about doing 4 miles in kit, tell him it's his fault. It's his fault. What else?
I'm
What
trying
else, Cody? You got any new guns coming?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can't show it, but
Ooh.
you want to talk about it?
So yeah, so had no intentions of buying or building a 9mm AR. Um, but Joe built one. Jason built one. I had my Ruger PC carbine, and I was satisfied with that. And then I went and saw Joe's that he built, and after he painted it, I was like, oh man, I would really love to build one. And then Sean from We Like Shooting, We Love Shooting, We Like Shooting.
We like shooting.
Sorry, Sean. Sean from We Like Shooting was like, I have a kit. I have the CMMG kit if you're interested. So I was like, yeah, I'm interested. And I'm breaking up again. Let me know if I'm coming through clear.
Yeah, your voices.
Okay. So anyway, I bought that kit from him, and then I was like, well, I might as well just start buying pieces. And I was buying pieces here and there. They started coming in, and now I got a 9mm AR. It is the tits. Opinion.
You're gonna like it. Yeah. What's crazy about that is I went through
I
Sean
can
to
show you the
order.
handguard. Huh?
I went through Sean to order the CMMG stuff, and I had already had mine for a while. And then, man, what did I do with the other one? I don't know, but somebody at work wanted one. So I went through Sean and ordered some more, and it took like 6 months to get those in. So he had put in two different orders, and one got fulfilled because they had told him, "Oh, we're sorry, we lost that order." So he put in another order. Well, they ended up fulfilling both of them, so he had an extra set. So Cody lucked out, man. He didn't have to wait 6 months to get it from CMMG. And we say the kit, we're talking about just the bolt and the barrel. That's all you need from CMMG: the bolt, the barrel, and the mag inserts. That's all you need.
So
CMMG
I don't
makes a
know if
quality gun. If you want to buy their entire gun or their entire upper, it's called, what is it called? The Banshee, I think,
yeah.
is how they sell it. But I just buy the parts, and I do arrow stuff. Cody did like a Frankenstein.
Well, the only thing is I got a PSA lower. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Um, I guess I could show you this. This is the mag kit, right? So all this is an insert for the P mags, and it takes 9mm rounds. I think this thing is genius.
Yeah.
So you don't
You
have
need
to
to
buy
cut your tail though. Pull it back out.
this thing.
Walsh never gonna let us do a show alone again. But pull it back out. You see that plastic strip that going down the back? Yeah, you see
Yeah,
those notches. So
yeah.
right now it's a 10-round magazine.
I see.
Every notch that you cut off is more capacity. So that notch
I
at the
see it.
very, very top, you cut it right there, and it's a 30-round mag.
Okay.
That's why
I didn't even
it's
think about that until I just pushed it down. I'm like, these little crafty
yep. You cut
suckers.
them off, and it becomes that round magazine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's genius. I will tell you that, Cody, though, you'll see some damage on that follower, that little follower at the top of it. The bolt catches that, and it scrapes it. Which after the first couple times shooting it, I looked at it and I'm like, oh man, these are gonna wear out fast. And Sean, he made his into a fully auto,
Yeah.
so he has
Uh,
probably, rough guesstimate, 5,000 rounds through his. He has a true CMMG upper. He has roughly 5,000 rounds through his. Has never cleaned it, never done anything, and that thing cycled like no other. So even though it scratches it, don't be worried about that. It still continue working. I don't think I'll ever, it'll take me 15 years to put 5,000 rounds through my 9mm. So I won't have a problem with it.
so I was gonna show you guys this hand guard, and I completely forgot what the name of it is. So stand by one. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, Cody likes certain looks of things, and he'll buy stuff based off of
Oh,
looks.
it's on here. So there's the Strike Industries, and of course now my screen's gonna freeze.
Yeah.
Strike Industries Gridlock.
It looks cool.
I think it's cool as heck. Now, I completely recognize that this is not necessary for my build, but the point of it is so you can pull the handguard off. It's a quick disconnect. You can pull it off. So I don't have one, and I recognize it. It's completely unnecessary, but it looks awesome on my 9mm AR. So that's how I
I
do
can't
things.
wait
It's
until
got
he
it
goes and
integrated.
shoots it. Because Jason
Why?
had a full 9mm build that took Glock mags, and he had put a suppressor on it, and he was completely happy with it. He loved that gun. He was completely happy with it. We even painted that one. Like, he came to Colorado, and I gave him the paint gun, and he painted part of it gun. We just did some weird stuff. We were trying some new stuff out, like trying to put it on thinner, thicker in places, putting some hexes on it, and just went nuts with it. And he had that gun, and I think he was like just, he didn't really think about it. I was building my 9mm, and he ordered the parts too. Just like, a knee jerk reaction to do it. Then he got all the parts in. He let them sit around for like 6 months. He never put it together. Like, I don't even know why I bought these. I don't need this gun. I convinced him to put it together. And after he went out and shot it the first time, I think he actually sold that entire other 9mm, or he was going to. He doesn't shoot it anymore. At least he only shoots at CMMG. That's my favorite AR that I own, is the CMMG bolt and barrel. I love that gun.
I'm not giving away my Ruger PC carbine. It'll just be my varmint gun. Like, it's already got a handful of confirmed kills on it. Rodents like raccoons.
A handful. Dude, I've seen quite a few gun recently that I want. I still want, what is it called? The Space Cowboy?
Yeah.
I still want to do one of those.
Was that what it was called, Misfit?
I think that's what he called it. I say he, but he's the one that mentioned it in the chat, and we looked it up. I didn't know it had an actual name. Just tactical lever actions.
Oh, when he said it, I thought he was joking, and then we went and looked, and it was the actual.
Yeah, like
Really
it's a whole
cool.
subcategory of guns. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with the arrow stuff with the 9mm, because it was like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when I was looking at building a 9mm, that Arrow said that they were coming out with their 9mm uppers and lowers at SHOT Show, and then they never did. It took them forever. Then COVID hit, which delayed it even more. Well, now they're finally out, and I think the hype of it has completely died off because they're actually going on sale. I saw on Brownells they had them, I think, on sale for like $240 for an upper and lower together, which isn't bad, especially for the quality that you get from Arrow. But I ended up building my CMMG instead. I was just going to buy a Scorpion because I'm tired of trying to figure out how to build a AR 9mm, and then all the weird buttons, and some of them don't have last round hold open. Some of them have like this weird bar that when you push the magazine release, it like comes all the way around the gun and pushes in on something on the other side. I'm like, man, that's just going to get dirt and crap in it. Like, I was over it. I didn't want to buy a whole bunch of Glock mags.
Some of them
Because I
look
don't,
like Walsh's gun.
right. And I went just over it. Like, I said, you know what? I'm not even going to do a 9mm in AR. I'm just going to learn a different platform like the Scorpion. And then that's when Sean from We Like Shooting turned me on to CMMG stuff, and I'm so glad he did. So glad.
So they're
But
talking
yeah.
about suppressors in the chat. And without going through all the comments, the comment that stuck out the best was Zach's. He said, "The longer you wait to buy a suppressor, the longer you'll wait."
Yep.
That's correct.
Yep. Yep. I'm still in that category of people that hope that one day they will do the Hearing Protection Act for the silencers and they won't be an NFA item anymore, and I can just go get one without a tax stamp and without, I won't say giving up anymore, but without diluting my Fourth Amendment rights.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that yet. I'll wear hearing protection. Cody and I got the axles in. I still need to go try.
Have you turned them on yet?
Yeah, I've turned them on. I connected it Bluetooth, and then I don't have pain to get them to turn off of Bluetooth. I'm like, I just turned the whole thing off, and later on, my phone kept connecting to something, and I'm like, what are you doing, phone? And I realized that you have to turn the Bluetooth of the thing off separate than the off switch.
Yeah. But
Which
that's like
is,
most stuff. Like these, if I don't turn them off of my phone will grab it first before my computer or
yeah,
something else.
yep. So,
And that's the same
but
with these.
I'm excited for those. We'll have a link to those if you want it. I'm sure
Misfit
Walsh will
was
put a link
saying,
somewhere.
well,
Hmm?
man, my computer is jacked.
Yeah, your whole internet's
From all
jacked.
that Netflix. It's all that Netflix I watch while I'm at work.
Mm-hmm. Your internet company cutting you off. No,
So,
I haven't
excuse
seen that.
me.
I didn't know they were having any issue with that gun. I thought that gun was pretty
Misfit,
bulletproof.
Misfit's asking. So those that are just listening, if that ever happens, he said, "Have y'all seen the Scorpion, the CZ Scorpion exploding? I believe it's from an out of battery detonation." Yeah, that's not good. That's Joe was just talking about that last chat about stuff blowing up in your face. So that would not be fun.
Mm-hmm. That's why I won't buy a bullpup. Y'all are crazy with them
I
bullpups.
still want one. I've never
Yeah,
seen
no
those blow up
thanks.
in anybody's face.
No thanks. Because they're not in prevalent in the shooting community, a regular gun, but guns blow up. It happens. It's very rare, but it happens. No thanks.
So Misfit's saying, I use the axle in ears. They're solid. Make sure you use the foam tips, not the rubber ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Joe and I had ear pros like similar to these, but a step up. In Afghanistan, there were slinks, silinks,
Silence.
right?
Silence. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and there was a similar wrap around your ear and had the foamies and stuff. And I thought those were really nice. Stayed in your ear. Uh, I didn't even feel them sweat or anything like that. So yeah, I definitely agree with the foamies.
Yeah, there are two tips for people that don't know what you're talking about. There are two different tips that go into your ears. One are like earbuds, they're just like rubber squishy for earbuds. And those are if you're using those as headphones, like you're listening to music or answering calls, like you're using them for normal headphone use. If you're going to use them for hearing protection for shooting a firearm, you have to swap it out to those. And what they are, they're just like the in-ear foams that you put in your ear. So you actually have to squish it down, put it in your ear, and then it expands in your ear and plugs your ear canal.
Yeah, it conforms better to your ear hole.
Yeah, they won't
That's
work as hearing protection if you use just the earbud things.
Where's Dr. Dole at? He's probably got some scientific way to say that.
Yeah,
How do you doctors say
ear hole.
foamy foamies conform to your ear hole? That brings up a good story. So there's a Korean store or restaurant here that I love, and they got different way of saying stuff. So I was like, "What do you call the chicken on a stick?" And she looked at me and she said, "Chicken on a stick." I was like, "Nice."
Nice. Something translates so well.
Yeah.
So well.
Let's see.
Yeah, we're getting into hunting season. Anybody going hunting? I'm
So
not. I'm not this year.
I'm not a hunter. Like I don't have experience, just like I don't have experience fishing. And my wife was like, "Why don't you get a deer tag?" I was like, so I looked into it, and as a veteran in the state of Nebraska, I can get one for a whitetail, any sex, for $31. Like
Nice.
that's not bad.
Mm-mm. I would go
What's
hunting
on?
a lot more if hunting was called killing instead of hunting. My problem with hunting is the hunting aspect of it. It costs a lot of money. Like if you're gonna go out where I've lived, like Idaho, I never had any aspiration to go in Utah, but Idaho, New Mexico, Colorado, it is truly hunting. It's not like the East Coast where you're almost guaranteed an animal. Um, you could get it's a lottery system for the good places. So you draw a good tag this year. Finally, you've been waiting 5 years to draw a good tag in a good area. You go out there for 5 days or whatever and come back empty handed a lot of the time, especially if you're like me and don't have the experience. So if it was more killing than it was hunting, then I would go a lot more. But it's a lot of
And
money and a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of
they got the
out in the
guided
cold.
tours that you can go on like the preserves or the ranches or whatever, where you're
Hmm.
guaranteed to get something.
Oh yeah, no,
That's a
those are really expensive.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
So
I've
Walsh,
it all depends where you're at too. We have a lot of mule deer, and if you've ever
yeah,
eaten mule deer tastes okay as long as you kill them in the right area. You go up
gamey.
into the high area and shoot a mule deer that's been eating pine needle for the last 6 months, and you're not going to enjoy that meat. If you
Yeah.
shoot a mule deer that's coming off of alfalfa fields, then sure they taste all right. But a mule deer that's been eating pine and sagebrush does not taste good at all.
So Walsh was going night night. Walsh, thanks for coming to the live chat, but not being a part of the live chat. That's
Right?
nice of you.
Nice of you.
So Misfits like ear canal. Yep,
I
that's
guess.
that is a more a doctory word for ear hole.
Yeah. So you got your 9 mil to shoot. I might be getting a 9 mil. I think it's gonna take me another month to get the funds together.
To buy it.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my stupid kayak. So look, so Bravo's excited about Bravo. Are you down in Mississippi? Because that's prime hunting grounds.
Do. I hope you guys get some. And if you have some extra whatever jerky and you want to share it with your friends, remember it's Friendship Pay Up Month after you harvest an animal, and we're your friends. So if you get some
Yeah,
some jerky and you want us to try it on the live chat, I will eat it on the live chat.
guaranteed. So Misfit's saying he loves hunting, riding the four wheeler, putting out some corn, climbing the stands, eat some snacks, take a nap,
Yeah,
all
see,
those things.
there's a lot different. It's a different way of hunting in other places. So where I live, you can't bait at all. You can't bait prior to hunting. You can't bait during hunting. And there's no tree stands. You don't sit in a tree stand. So that's why I loved bird hunting so much. 'Cause bird hunting more like bird killing. We go, if you had a blind, sure, then you'd use a blind. But if you didn't have a blind, you just sit on the water and shoot. You don't even have to be a good caller because the ducks would get so call shy from all the other hunter that we just throw some decoys out there and just sit and shoot the bull, and then eventually birds would fly in. You'd pop up, shoot them, send a dog to go get them, and then sit back down and keep BSing and eating snacks. Like I like that hunting. But for big game, especially elk, which I absolutely love eating elk. I think it's the best red meat that I've ever had. It's so hard to actually do it. And you have to end up packing in, miles upon miles and then packing that animal out. And it's not guaranteed. It's a lot of hard work. If I went with somebody, it'd be different. Like if somebody called me and said, "Hey, I shot an elk. I need help packing it out, and I'll give you some meat for your time." Oh, dude, I grab all of the gear that I have. I'd be in the truck and headed that way in a heartbeat. I don't care how much I would spend in gas to get there. I would be there in a heartbeat. But yeah, some of the Midwest and especially more toward the East Coast where you're sitting in blinds and tree stands, that'd be all right. That'd be all right. So good luck, Misfit. I hope you harvest this year.
I remember as a little kid, we used to go out into the woods and find deer stands. And a lot of times you climb up into the deer stand and you'd find like nudie mags. I know that's nasally, and snacks and stuff. And we would just sit up there and look at the nudie mags and then go home.
Kid's dream, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And see,
And
Zach's in Colorado, northern New Mexico, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming. Guided tours are $1,000.
yeah,
$1,000.
I know. So Misfit is saying he wants to go hog hunting with night vision. I know you've seen the ones where they're shooting them out of the helicopter, right? That's the coolest thing. That'd be so much fun. Again, and I know YouTube's probably freaking out, but that's more killing and not hunting.
Mm-hmm.
But hogs are a nuisance in Texas and in most of the southern states, so it's completely legal. So
yeah, I've done a lot
whatever.
of varmint killing in
Yeah.
my life. That's always fun. I hate pigeons, so killing pigeon in Idaho will be something I talk about for the rest of my life. Any rancher or hunter that ever needs help with coyotes or groundhogs, I'm completely down for that too.
Yeah.
Some people eat pigeon. I would never eat a pigeon.
That's flying rats.
Yep. We would go, they would nest in the ground and we would come over the hill. You would have 2 cargo pockets with just, as many shotgun shells that you could fit in there. And we just line up like 4 of us. And some of the birds would see up and fly away and you don't shoot. And then all of a sudden, once everybody's ready, you start shooting and they would just fly out of these cracks in the earth. It's like Carlsbad Cavern with the bats flying out of them, man. There were so many pigeons flying out of them, and we would just destroy like 100 pigeons. We'd use their carcasses to set up at decoys, and then wait for them to come back. And they would come back once. They'd send a test group in, like 10 to 20 birds. You don't shoot at them, and then all of a sudden the whole flock would come back. And I'm talking thousands of birds. And once they get back and they get all nested up, because they're nesting in there and in their roost and everything, then you'd shoot one of them again and they'd all come flying out of there. And then we'd just leave the carcasses for coyotes and then come back the next night and shoot coyotes.
Yep. So whatever YouTube nerd is going to review this live chat, just know that any kind of varmint or nuisance animal is completely legal
Fair game
to shoot.
Yep. Fair game. All you have to do, for Idaho, all you had to do have a hunting license that costs $10. And it's fair game. You can shoot as many if you want all year round. It's crowd control.
So I also noted that Kook Club and Bravo said that they would send us jerky if they get it. So
okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. Yeah, Cody, I'm gonna keep that. Yep. You'll probably have to send out 2 different packages, but yeah, just remember I asked you first if you only have 1 package. And Walsh and Jason weren't here, so it's a 50-50 chance, Cody.
Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh man, a heater and everything.
Yeah, there's some like some real legit stands. Like you could probably call it like a weekend camp that some of these guys have out there.
Yeah, where I live, it's you have to track. Like you have to track or get lucky. Like if anybody's ever hunted the Rocky Mountains, like the East Coast, it's crazy to me. Like people the furthest shot they normally take because the woods are so thick and stuff, and 75, 150 yards, like that's it. Not where I live. Like you'll shoot from one ridge to another ridge. Like it's a 500-yard shot across the ridges, and then you have to hike all the way down your mountain through the valley all the way up that side, harvest your meat, hike it all the way back down, and then get back to your vehicle. And a lot of the places they're either no trails to take off-road vehicles, or you're not allowed to take them. So in Colorado, you have to stay on the trail. You can't just ride your stuff anywhere that you want to go. So you're normally hiking into places, and I won't say I'm overhunted. I'll say that, especially in Colorado, I think because of the gold rush, almost all the land in Colorado is private land. So the actual public land that you can hunt, it's just, there's so many people out there trying to hunt that it gets ridiculous.
Deborah,
My daughter still really wants to go bow hunting for turkey, and that wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't mind doing that.
yeah, they have those little small blinds that you can like move and hunt for turkey. Like that's not a big to do.
Yeah. It's just, how it is here, Cody. Like you have to actually be mobile and hunt. You have
Yeah,
to keep moving. You have to know, you have to stay upwind from where you're going. If you're walking with the wind, you're never going to harvest anything.
yeah.
But you actually have to walk around and hunt. It's not, if you stay stagnant and just sit in one place, you'll never get anything.
So Deborah, what part of the South are you in? Because I'm from Louisiana. We have armadillos. They weren't protected. We used to pop them all the time. Gators, those have a season where you can
They
hunt
have a
them and stuff
season.
like that.
Yeah.
But in Louisiana, we have nutria rats, and they're big old woodchuck looking things with like a rat tail. In the state of Louisiana, if you kill a nutria rat and you cut the tail off, they'll give you like $5 for killing it.
Hmm.
So that's like
That'd be
the
fun.
best deal possible.
Yeah. I want to go down to Florida and go snake hunting, dude.
Like the big old those boa constrictors.
Yeah. Yep. The
That's scary,
pythons
man.
down there. I
Yeah,
want to
no
go
thanks.
hunt python down in Florida. Like, if I can get somebody to go down there with me and we can get enough python to pay for the trip, that would be like the best vacation ever. Just to walk around in the Everglades and hunt pythons and then sell them to the state.
Those
Because you
things
can
can
get
eat
like,
you.
nah, they ain't.
Uh,
Uh-uh.
they found like people dead bodies in them and stuff.
Yeah, like down in the Amazon, in an anaconda and a child, I would believe that. But nah. Oh, dude, those snakes, they're not even venomous. They're not even venomous. Like,
No,
they
but
hurt if they
they
bite you.
constrict.
Oh
They
yeah, I
constrict.
know. I know. Have you seen any of the shows on these? Like, I love watching these shows on Discovery or History or whatever. Guardian of the Glades is one of my favorite shows. That's all they do.
Yeah,
That's how they make their living. But they sell the meat, they sell the organ to like people that make potions. I don't know what they do with the organs, but they sell the snake
people that make
to,
potions.
yeah, dude, that's what it is, man. Like, it's like folklore, like the liver, python liver makes you live long life or whatever. I don't know,
I'm
dude,
sure
but
it does.
they get money from the state, like a couple $100 depending on the size of the snake. Then they make stuff out of the skin, like they make wallets and hat bands and all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff, boots out of the skin. They sell the meat, they sell the organs for potions, and they make decent amount of money off of each snake.
yeah.
Dude, I went down in Florida for my job, right? And I was riding around with a local agent that was helping me out. And we're driving up, we're out on the NASA compound. We're driving up to look at a launch pad. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, there's a big old snake right in the middle of the road." And I was all excited, dude, because I'm in Florida. I love that show. Like, I'm gonna catch this snake. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it afterwards, but I'm gonna catch this snake, right? So we go up and I explain what we're going to do real quick. I'm like, all right, now let's go look at the snake. So I go back and I pull up passenger side kind of close to the snake, and I can just see over the passenger window, and I see the head shape. And the head shape was not a python head shape. It was a viper head shape. So I'm like, oh man, that's not a python. And I asked the person that I'm with, I'm like, does it have a rattle on its tail? And she was like, I don't know, I can't really see it. So I jump out of the truck and get semi close to it, and sure enough, it is a massive, massive eastern diamondback. So I've never seen an eastern diamondback. I've only seen western diamondbacks because that's where I've lived most of my life, is in the Midwest. So I'm all excited, man. I get a couple picture, but it's getting skittish of us, so it's going towards the road, and I didn't want it to go out there and get killed. So I just packed up and left. But I got some good picture, and that thing had to have been bigger than a soda can in its center, and it had to have been. I mean, this is a rough guess. I don't know, 6 feet long for a rattlesnake. Like that's a snake I don't mess with. I'll get.
Yeah.
I think I got probably within 5 feet of it because it was outstretched. It wasn't curled up. I got within 5-8 feet of it just to get a couple good picture, and then left it alone. But a python, man, I'll mess with them all day. And they on the show they make it more dramatized than it actually is catching these snakes, like because it's drama TV, right? I mean, I would just have a stick with a V in it. We used to catch snakes all the time as kids, and just pin its head and walk up and pick it up. And sure, it's going to try to coil around your arm and uncoil it. Like it can't do anything unless it gets its teeth in you. So they do have teeth, but so Cody, you're not down for python hunting in the Everglades?
No, I'll gator hunt, but not no python.
Really? Dude, a gator will destroy you faster than a python will.
Nah. They can't, if you hold their mouth shut, they can't open their mouths.
Yeah, if you hold a snake behind a head, it can't do anything to you.
That the whole rest
And
of it can wrap around your neck.
No, you'll be fine. And I think the record caught down in Florida is like 17 feet, dude. It's not crazy. Yeah, I mean they stink. You're gonna be stinky and nasty, and there's a lot of bugs down there. But it's not the python that worry me. You're out in the Everglades. It's the gators and the cottonmouths, and it's all the poisonous spider. That's what worries me. But I guess iguanas are becoming a huge problem too. People are like hunting iguana with
that's what Deborah's saying
rifles.
right here.
Oh, really?
So she's saying they're taking over South Florida, and I saw videos when it got really cold down there, falling out of the trees. That's just strange.
That's crazy. Yeah, people getting pets and releasing them, man. I guess the python problem happened according to the Everglades show, or the Guardian of the Glades show. They became a problem after a hurricane took out a reptile breeding facility, and like 1,000 python escaped from the breeding facility because of the hurricane, and now they're just taking over, just like the hogs, iguanas, and pythons, and they're just, and that that jumping fish that is really invasive and kills off all the fish.
That's what I was gonna say. That's how most of these invasive species, they're brought in for. Some scientist is like, oh, this will be good for the environment, and then they end up taking over. Same thing with the Nutri-Rat. There was some reason they came from Asia somewhere, and somebody's like, oh, they'll be good for this, and then they come over and just wipe everything out. So, and I don't know if anybody's ever been to Guam, but they had this species of birds that only was on that island, and some one of the Air Force planes, a B-52, brought over a snake on the plane. They didn't realize it, but the snake ends up taking over the island and killing off this bird species that only Guam had. So you'll see snake traps all over that island because they're trying to. It's like a brown snake or something like that.
That's
But
crazy.
that's how all these invasive species start. Some idiot, Misfit saying the Asian carp. That's that fish you were talking about.
Yeah, the one that jumps. I just like watching the video where somebody's driving a boat all fast and that fish just jumps and hits them right in the face.
Yeah. So Deborah's saying she hit a wild hog with shoulders above her Toyota pickup truck the night before there was a pet goat in the convenience store. So what was I watching? Oh, that show. I'm watching a show on Netflix, and she has a goat. I forget what she calls it, but she's walking around with the goat all day. But people in the
Yeah.
South, man, I love them to death.
Yep. So if you
Yeah,
live in any of the places, do your part to help the local wildlife and go out there and start varmint hunting. My sister, my sister to that day, she doesn't understand it, and she gives me grief about varmint hunting. And it's like I know you don't understand it, but prairie dogs, are I don't know what they have like 5 different names, but groundhogs, prairie dogs, they uh they are devastating to a ranch. They make huge city underneath the ground, and then a cow steps in it and breaks its leg, and you have to put the cow down. And when
yeah,
you have 1,000 a head of cow, and you had to put 6 down in 1 year because they're breaking their legs, man. It's just so go out and do your part. Go out and do your part. Especially the iguana and the snakes. If you live down in Florida and you're not as a hobby going out and catching snakes for extra money, you might want to look into it. Eventually, they might start paying for iguanas too.
yeah.
That'd be
So
different. Get yourself a good
so Harry,
air rifle and just go pop them.
what can you tell us about those snakeheads? Because I watched some catch snakeheads all the time, and they hate them. But I know they're a invasive species in Florida.
What's a
There's
snakehead?
something about them. They're like slimy or something. It's a fish.
Uh,
They're
oh yeah, they
slimy
kind of look like
or they got a
eels.
spine or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of look like eels or whatever. I saw somebody. I think I saw somebody catching them with pouring Coke into a hole or something like that, wasn't it? You pour
Where
Coke
was
down into a hole and they all pop out of there.
Yeah, I saw that, but that was in some other country and that was a different
Yeah, it
species,
was.
but they just kept on coming. He was picking them up. He's gonna eat them. So
Yeah, he's
I don't
gonna eat
know.
them. Yeah, but that's like catfish. Some people really like catfish. Some people
I
don't.
love catfish.
I don't eat fish in general, but
But if you there's a certain way, like fried catfish is delicious. I'm sure if you just tried to catch and cook it, it wouldn't be that good, but I don't know.
yeah. But like I eat bluegill or sunfish. It's called different names in different parts of the
Panfish.
country. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I eat bluegill. I grew up eating that in Ohio. My grandpa he knew the owner of a private lake. I mean, a huge lake, a private lake. So we would go and we would come back with 80 to 140 bluegill in half a day of fishing. That's why that kind of stuff ruined me to fishing, because then I got older and I started fishing river and stuff, and you might get a couple bites in a whole day. And it's like,
Yeah.
this ain't fishing. This is just sitting here watching a bobber. So I started fly fishing. That's more like hunting fish.
Yeah, but
I haven't
watching
done
these
that in
dudes
forever.
now, like with these so I got a bait caster. It's a lot different than using a bobber. Like the different technology they have and all these lures.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of nerding out because this is what I've been researching. But the different lures and all the technology that they have now, like you don't have to cast it out there and just watch the bobber, right? You're trying to, do a little twitch and kind of trick the fish into thinking, oh, that's something I want to eat, right? So
Yeah.
you're hunting, or same thing. I think it's really, uh, it's now more of a sport than just kind of sitting there and being lazy.
Yeah.
Like that's why I
That's
never
why
liked it.
that's why bass fishing has always been big, because bass fishing more like hunting. A lot of bass
Yeah,
don't strike because they're hungry. They strike because they're protecting their area.
yeah.
So you got to
Depending
piss
on
them off enough. Yeah, you got to piss them
what
off
time of the
enough with
year it
your
is.
lure. Yep,
Yeah.
especially when they're spawning, because they think
So
that little fish on your lure. They think that little thing in there to eat their eggs or do whatever.
right. So I mean, you watch all the live scopes and stuff that they have on their boats, even these kayaks. You can get a a little depth finder and like a live scope that'll show you, what's. Oh, look! I could see a fish right there, and just,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's almost not even. It's not.
Cody, internet gonna die eventually. Nope. We
What
didn't
else?
hear all the end of it,
Oh,
but
sorry.
they can too. We're still in the same comment. So I don't know what Walsh had coming up. I don't have anything coming up. I still need to put together a video, I guess, and do some tabletop of that PSA 5.56 pistol that I got that brass stuck in a couple times. I need to do that video, but it worked
Yeah.
fine. I have the tack on trigger in that. I have my most expensive trigger and my least expensive gun. It's
So
funny.
I
Cody, I don't
have a
know how
rave
you.
trigger,
There you
but I
go.
haven't put it in yet. I might do that.
Rave or rise?
Rave,
Oh, did you?
rise.
Rise? I thought you bought a rise trigger.
It's rise.
Oh.
It says the Rave 140.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. Let us know what you guys are working on, what you're building.
You guys gotta excuse us. We're not professionals.
Yeah,
You guys
I
know
agree with
that.
that. Bravo Tech, I agree with that. So if you don't know, I lived 4 years, my high school life, I lived on a rainbow trout fish hatchery. And my dad worked on the hatchery. I lived on the hatchery for 4 years. They stocked, my dad would go out and stock lakes and stuff all the time. So at the beginning, I would wait for him to go and stock. And because I had the insider information, I would go to that lake and just pull out rainbow trout left and right. But being raised on the hatchery, eating pellets instead of bugs, they tasted like crud. They were terrible.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing that. And weird enough, the best bait I ever used to catch rainbow trout in the rivers, if I wasn't fly fishing, the best bait I ever used was salmon eggs. Oddly enough, like there's no salmon in any of the rivers, but the trout love salmon eggs.
That's what it takes, though. Is a lot of times you'll hear fishermen. They're like, "Oh, they ain't never seen this before," right? So that's what it is. Like, oh, that's a new, like you said, a predator or a new snack. Like,
Mhm.
they may be used to seeing the same thing every day. So when something new or something smells different, they're attracted to it. So
Yeah. So there were a couple times that I'd go out with there was another guy, another high schooler that lived on the hatchery and asked my dad, Dad, what are we doing for dinner? We don't really have plans. I'm like, all right, well, I'll go try to catch fish, and if not, we'll do scrambled eggs. Because it was just me and my dad. We were kind of bacheloring it for a couple years in the high mountains. So we go out and fish. I mean, the river was maybe at most 50 yards from our front door. So I go underneath the fence to the hatchery and just start fishing the river and walk up river and then the Rio Grande had pike in it. So that was always fun to try to get a pike on a fly fishing run
yeah, those will
and
put up a
not
fight.
snap, not have their teeth snap your line. But yeah, I had a pike break an ugly stick once.
Really?
Yeah, broke that pole, man. I was all worried that I was gonna take the broken pole back to my dad, and he was gonna be mad about it. He was a little upset, but not as upset as I was worried about. Yeah,
Well,
man.
our comments have kind of died off. Um, I don't know, Joe. You got anything else you want to wrap it up, or you want to?
No, I don't have anything else. I think if our comments have died off, I think it's a good stopping point.
Yeah. Again, like I kind of said in the beginning, uh, all we really had was the holster video that came out this week. I'm sure Braden has some stuff coming out. Obviously, he's kind of busy with work. Um, I've been sick all week, and Joe's working nights. So we're still trying to put out some stuff, trying to keep up, trying to keep you guys entertained, trying to stay engaged. But just know with the holidays coming up, we're going to try to push through it, but we still want to kind of spend time with our family and loved ones and do stuff like that. And hope you guys do the same. Hope you guys get a chance to hang out with your buddies, hang out with your family. Um, Stay safe out there. We'll see you next week. A reminder. Well, I put it in the chat. I think. Let me double check before I say something wrong. Yeah. So next week is not the 28th. So he mentioned that we'll do the primary arms giveaway on the 28th live chat. So not next Thursday, but the next. Right?
Right before Halloween.
There you go. Right. So next Thursday is the 21st. The next Thursday after that is the 28th. That's when we'll do the primary arms scope giveaway. So that gives you 2 more weeks to comment. Get your buddies to comment.
And subscribe. And Cody frozen again. Comment and subscribe. That's what Cody is trying to say.
Try to get that scope. Am I still here?
Yeah, now you are.
Did Joe fall asleep?
Nope. Okay. You're here. I'm here.
All right. Boys and girls, again, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. I know it wasn't the most interesting thing, but we made it the whole hour and 16 minutes without talking about plate carriers and placards all night. I appreciate that. It might have been a little more boring than normal, but got to break it up every once in a while. But appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Take care. Stay safe. Be good to each other. And we'll see you next week. Later.